So you paid for protection, a digital bodyguard for your PC. You installed it, you ran the first scan, and breathed a sigh of relief. Your photos, your files, your privacy, all of it was finally standing behind a world-renowned shield. But then, weird things starts to happen. A pop-up, then another. Your computer's fans are whining at random times. Suddenly, you're getting urgent warnings about problems. That's great and all, but funny though, the solution's always costs more money. What if the biggest threat to your computer isn't some virus from the dark corners of the web, but the very bodyguard you hire to protect it? This is the story of how Norton Antivirus, for a massive number of people, earned the reputation of being the virus in their own computer. Today, we're not just going to complain, we're going to dissect how Norton got this reputation. So let's be honest, for decades Norton has been synonymous with PC security. It's the brand our parents trusted. When you get a new computer, one of the first things you think about is an antivirus, and Norton has always felt like the responsible choice. It's a household name, a legacy brand that promises and, honestly for the most part, delivers a tough defense against the worst stuff out there. When you first install it, everything just feels right. The dashboard looks professional and modern, it runs a deep scan, and it finds a few tracking cookies to get rid of. You feel safe. You did the right thing. You have a digital guard on duty 24/7. The software tells you it's working, blocking thousands of threats and keeping you safe. It's a promise of security that millions of people were happy to pay for. But for way too many of them, the security would soon be shattered. Not by hackers, but by the relentless noise from their own protector. The first sign that something's wrong usually isn't a virus. It's a special offer. A pop-up slides into the corner of your screen. Your PC is protected, but your online privacy is at risk. Get Norton Secure VPN now. You close it, an hour later, another one. Warning, your data could be at risk on the dark web. Activate our monitoring service. This is where the love story ends and the frustration begins. Countless forums on Reddit threads are filled with users complaining about constant, aggressive upselling. You paid for the product, but you got a billboard for more products. This marketing strategy is the core reason for Norton's trashed reputation. It's not just that they're trying to sell you more stuff, it's how they do it. The pop-ups are intrusive, and according to a flood of user complaints, the option to turn them off can seem conveniently broken or just plain ineffective. Even after digging through the settings to mute special offer notifications, the pop-ups still keep coming. This non-stop campaign makes the software feel less like a silent guardian and more like a pushy salesman you can't kick out of your house. It plants that first seed of doubt. Is this program really working for me? Or is it just using my PC to work for its own sales team? For years, one of the biggest complaints about Norton was the performance hit. You start a full system scan and your computer would slow to a crawl. The CPU usage would spike, fans would scream, and it felt like that you had to choose between being protected and actually being able to use your machine. This is what cemented the bloatware label in so many minds. A program so heavy and resource hungry felt like a virus itself. On older or weaker computers, the impact was genuinely awful, causing lag in games, stutter videos, and just in general, molasses-like sluggishness. However, this is where the story gets more complicated in 2025. That reputation, born from years of frustration, doesn't really match today's reality. Independent labs like AV Test and AV Comparatives now give Norton top marks for performance, confirming it has a much lower impact on system speed than it used to. On a modern PC, most reviews agree that Norton is now pretty lightweight and you likely won't notice it running. The memory of those laggy years lingers, but the facts aren't the facts. The performance issues are largely a thing in the past. The reputation was earned fair and square, but for anyone with a reasonably up-to-date machine, it's no longer the resource hog it was. But there's almost nothing more maddening than your protector turning on you. A false positive is when your antivirus flags a perfectly safe file as a virus. For most people, it's just annoying, but for a developer, a small business owner, or anyone working on a crucial project, it can absolutely wreck your day. Imagine your own app, a vital business tool, or a project file you spend weeks on suddenly being locked away by the very software you paid to protect you. The real fury, as users have reported, is what comes next. Trying to report the false positives and getting your files back can be a slow, automated, and maddening process. It can halt business operations and leave you feeling empty or powerless. While recent independent tests show Norton has an excellent track record with very few false positives in lab settings, the pain of the user experience when it does occur has clearly left a scar. The stats might look good, but for the person affected, the trust in the software is shattered. For many, this is the final straw. After putting up with the pop-ups, the slowdowns, and the false alarms, a user decides to do what should be a simple task: uninstall the program. But it's often not that easy. People frequently complain that the standard Windows uninstaller leaves behind a mess of files, registry entries, and background processes. This is where the virus analogy feels more real. To be fair, the company offers a special Norton remove and reinstall tool to do a deep clean, but the fact that you need a special tool at all just confirms the user's suspicion. This software does not want to leave. The struggle to get it off their machine is often the final, most memorable frustration, cementing their decision to never come back. So, we've heard the case for the prosecution. These are the reasons that Norton the virus idea exists and still rings true for so many. But what about the defense? The facts for 2025 paint a much different picture of the software's main job. Norton consistently scores perfect or near perfect marks for malware detection, making it one of the most effective protectors you can buy. The performance issues are history on modern hardware, and its rate of false positives in testing is incredibly low. So is Norton a virus in 2025? No, objectively, it's an excellent antivirus program. The virus is in the software itself, but the ghost of its past and its relentlessly aggressive business model. The problem isn't that Norton will fail to protect your computer from malware. The problem is whether you can stand its personality while it does its job. The upselling and renewal pop-ups are still a major point of pain for a lot of people. So this brings us to the real solution. What should you actually do? The answer really depends on what you care about the most. If you want arguably the best malware detection money can buy, and you have a patience to ignore the marketing pop-ups, then Norton 360 is a technically fantastic choice. However, if you're like the many people who find those interruptions infuriating, there's an incredibly powerful alternative that's ready on your computer: Microsoft Defender. In the last few years, Defender has gone from a basic tool to a genuinely robust security suite. For the vast majority of people, Windows Defender is more than good enough. The real solution is making an informed choice. It's understanding the trade-off. Plus, there are so many other antivirus softwares that are actually decent. But that's just my take on the data and user reports. And feel free to share your opinion in the comments below. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to actually be testing Norton Antivirus on a future video. Make sure to subscribe and share this to a friend so I can have money to buy the antivirus. Get me monetized. Peace.